Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some spa candles. We're going to be showing you step by step how to do it from start to finish. I think this one's going to be kind of a medium difficulty painting, probably not too hard for our beginners. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man in chat for our live show today, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I will try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using a 9 by 12 inch canvas today. I've painted it carbon black, just regular paint there, no special prep on the canvas. I'm using a Belgian linen canvas board from Fredrix. They're our canvas sponsor, so we appreciate them for providing our canvas today. I've got a few brushes that we'll be using. I used a number 2 Aspen for the background just to cover the black paint there. And then for the candles, we'll probably be using a number 8 bright and a number 4 bright. This is the 6100 series, and this one is the 6500 Aspen series in the Princeton brushes there. And then for some of the candle details, the flames and things like that, I've got a couple of different brushes here, just kind of scrubby brushes. This is a Scumbler and a Fix-It brush, number 2 and number 6 here from the Select line in Princeton. And then I've also got a fan brush to do some streaking possibly. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this one. We'll just see how it goes as we paint. But this one's the number 4 Bristle fan from Select, from Princeton as well. And then we've got several different in their VelvetTouch line, which is a little bit softer. Short handle bristles. This is an angular 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch, and then a 6 Filbert number 1 round. And then these are the Willow's blenders here. I've just got two of the same size, 3/8 inch and then a 1/4 inch. So if you don't have these exact brushes, don't worry about it. We'll just kind of, use what you've got that's similar. It should be just fine. But Princeton is our brush sponsor, so we thank you to them for providing our brushes today. We really like their stuff. I was using them already, so it's kind of a win-win. All right, or it is a win-win. Absolutely. Colors: carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna. I'm just waiting for you to switch it over there for me. Quinacridone nickel azo gold. That's a new color that I haven't used in a while. I've used it a couple of times, but I pulled it out for this. If you don't have it, I'll show you how to mix something that's similar. I've got cadmium yellow light, phthalo green yellow shade, phthalo blue green shade, ultramarine blue. This is Prussian blue. Again, another new color. If you don't have it, we can mix it with the other colors on the palette. Quinacridone Magenta and Unbleached Titanium, titanium white, zinc white. And this one is glazing medium. So all the materials and everything are listed down in the description of the video. So if I went through that too quickly for you, you can go down and check that out after the show. All right. So our composition is kind of low to the canvas. If you notice, like everything is kind of down here, almost in the bottom third. Not quite third, but close. So I kind of shifted everything down. So this one is where I started because it's our foreground candle. It is right almost just off the center, and I kind of made it a little bit farther this way than it probably is in our photograph. I can probably move it over just a little bit. I literally sketched this in like 2 minutes, so it's not not very good. But I always like to start with a little bit of a sketch because I'm not a fast drawer. It always kind of takes me a while to get things just the way I want it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and start. I'm using just regular school chalk here, and we'll go ahead and start on this guy, and I think I will move him over just a little bit. You want to make sure that these lines are parallel to the side of your canvas. That way your candles don't look like they're tipping over on themselves. And there we go. That looks pretty good. Most of this in the background here, most of this side of all of the candles are going to be in the dark. So probably what we'll do is go back over those with black once we, shade them again with black once we kind of get some of the color on them. So this bottom edge of this front one is rounded right there a little bit. And then the top, this is the only one that we're really seeing any of the top part. And it's very, very shallow. Like I've seen people do this where they kind of do their candle like this and it's flat here. And then they have this big round thing here. And that's not going to be correct. This is going to be the same as this. So if you've got a curve here, it's going to have to curve the same here for it to look right. So just kind of keep that in mind, that this top edge, it can be rounded, but it can't just be rounded on one end. You know, that's not the way your eye would see it in correct perspective. So it can be look kind of flat here, but it is slightly curved. And this curve should kind of match right there. So, and that's kind of thick line there, but I'll fix it once we get to the painting part. So that's what I want to get right first. I want to get that size candle correct. I want him in the right spot, and then everything else is kind of going to go off of him. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on him and measure out from him or her the rest of these candles. So this one is farther over here than I had in my original sketch. So I'm going to just take a clean cloth, and that's why I use chalk, because it's really easy to correct things and move things around with just a little bit of water on a towel. Okay, so let's just take that one out. And we'll draw him in again. So he's going to be, here's our center of our flame, just peeking up right there. So this candle is going to be right up here, and it's not much higher than this one. And I'm going to go across here. There's just the slightest sliver of the inside of that candle showing, but I'm not really going to worry about it. And it's about the same width, so kind of look at your width there and try to get it similar. Down. And then wherever this is up here, if we're wanting these to be the same size, then we're wanting to match this length here. So there we go. Right there is where the bottom of him is going to be. And then we've got a big rock right here that's going to be cutting off, and it's just a little higher than this front candle. And I might bring this one down just a little bit more. Bottom is kind of flat, and then it rounds out right here and then tucks up like that around this way, and then like that. It's a little bit shorter on this side. Welcome, guys. Hello. I just jumped right in today, so didn't ever say hello.
Yes, you did.
Hope you guys are doing well Saturday. Thank you for joining us.
I am.
You're doing well?
Yep.
Good.
I'm doing good.
Mark had his Walmart adventure already this morning, so
Extra long.
He likes to go to Walmart on Saturdays. For some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I had to get the oil changed.
Uh-huh.
You can't have that delivered.
No. You have to go.
So you started off by painting the canvas black.
Yes.
And you recommend to paint them black rather than using a black canvas in case you make a mistake. Then if you have to paint over again, the blacks match.
Right. Yes. Even if you're using a black gesso canvas, I would still paint it black. Gesso's not a finished. It's a primer, so it's intended. It's got extra tackiness. It's intended to be painted over. It's not intended to be like the final coat. So.
And which black did you use to paint the background?
Black.
Just carbon black.
Yep.
Heavy-bodied carbon black.
Mm-hmm. I actually use the fluid black because it goes on a little bit smoother. I like it better when I'm doing backgrounds. Okay, so there we go. So there's that. Our plate is just about almost the same distance as from here to here as here to here. And our plate is kind of, we're just seeing like a little bit of the rim there. There's actually two parts like a brown on the bottom and then a little bit of a blue or gray lip right there. And it's going off the edge of the canvas. And I don't know what's over here. We can't really tell. I cropped it out a little bit, and I'm taking out those big brown, whatever those are, seed nut things. I don't really like those. And I mean, I like the color, so we may be sorry that we took them out. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't really know what they are. They look like big brown turds to me, so I just kind of figured we'll just leave them out.
At a spa?
I don't know. I don't know what they are. Somebody probably knows, and they're probably getting offended, but oh well. Sorry. You can put yours in if you want your brown turds in there. Okay. Attitude today. I'm going to get in trouble for that. I just know it. Okay. All right. So right on the inside of here, there's a little bit of a space here, and this is our big candle here. It goes quite far up, almost to the top third, just above it. And it's a little bit wider than I did here, so I'm going to bring it out a little bit. And this one, we're seeing a little bit of a curve that way. There's the flame there. And then our candle here is just above this one right here. I like that these are all on different levels. This really like appeals to my artistic whatever. I can't stand it when they're all like on this too matchy. So I really like this composition. Whoever set these candles up did a good job in this photo. It's good. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to do a leaf right here where that big brown thing was, just because I don't know where this ends and everything. So in order to kind of hide that, I'm just going to add my leaf there instead of, and I'm just going to put them all the way across right there. Okay. And then this is our flame right there. So the center of this candle should be kind of right up against this one here where this one ends. Excuse me. Cough break. And then, yeah, this one's going to have to come way over. I moved everything over, so I'm going to just take these out. We'll just put those in later. Okay, so this candle here is right kind of almost center here. Doesn't go quite, it gets like right in between these two. So right in here is how high it is. And what about there? Maybe a little bit more narrow. It's a little farther back. And somewhere in there. Okay. Large flame. Good. This one looks like it's leaning. I think it's the top of it. Make sure you get these all squared up so they're not leaning over crooked. Okay, that looks better, I think. I think this one is angled just a little bit there. See?
If we just had some way to square them off, it would be amazing.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just the engineer in me. It's just the engineer in me. And I was going to say it's probably not an engineer that laid those out, because they'd probably be at all the same level. Nice and uniform.
Uniform. If they did the photo,
exactly.
The engineer would be like, well, those aren't straight.
Exactly. We'd have to cut the tall ones down a little bit to make sure they were all the same height.
Because we wouldn't want to do it the easy way and just put them all on the same level on the table, right?
Well,
We'd complicate it. There'd probably have to be math involved too, I would think.
probably. If it's done right, there is.
Right. All right, are you happy now?
That's better.
It's better?
It's granted, it's not as good as you kind of eyeballing the chalk.
All right.
I think that's how they did the Leaning Tower of Pisa. They just had a piece of chalk going, yeah, that looks straight.
Does that look straight?
Yeah.
Okay. I may pull it back out when I paint it. Just to make you happy. All right. So right above this, not as high as this. So right in here, our rock right here coming out of the dark. Kind of skinny. Then there's a bigger one right here that almost goes right to the edge of that. Is it raining? What's that noise?
Maybe sleep.
Huh?
Maybe sleep.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 31 degrees.
Oh, wow.
You need to look.
I hear something. Okay. We were under a tornado warning last night, so that's always fun. We live in Arkansas, so you never know what the weather's going to do here. It wasn't a tornado, though. We were fine. All right. Then another one right in here that kind of overlaps all of these. And goes right off to the... You sleep? Really? Wow. That's surprising. All right, so there's our rocks. I really like this.
I'm surprised you're not happy.
Why? Why would I
Because
be
that
happy?
usually means that it's cold enough for a fire.
Yes. Yes. You said it. You have to do it now. Do you have wood? Do we need to send Spencer out to get some wood?
Oh, we got some wood.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
The other day when it was like 60 some odd degrees outside, she's like, "Can we do a fire?" No.
Hey, all right. Okay, so I'm just going to make this area dark. So, because there is like some soap or something in here, but I'm not going to put that in. I don't want it in there. So I'm just going to maybe kind of make the indication of a plate there or something. I'm not sure, but we'll just leave that. So I'm happy with that. I think I like that composition. And feel free to add or remove, more candles, do whatever you want with yours. You don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing. I'm just kind of making some artistic edits here just because I wanted to. So that's all. Not right or wrong. It's just, whatever.
I have
floats your boat.
spoken.
You're not going to get deducted points for that from the art police.
What did that guy say when he was done? I have spoken.
Yeah. The
guy in the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian guy, yeah. Okay, I think I'm just noticing that there's some wood grain back here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use my number 12 bright for that. And I'm going to grab if I can get it without making too much noise. Okay, get a palette knife, and I'm going to mix up some of our gray. So we're going to need a lot of this color, so I'm just going to go ahead and...
And which color is that?
It is our gray that I like. So it's
but
equal
you said
parts.
a lot of this color.
Huh?
You said a lot of this color, but you didn't say what color it was.
Well, yeah, I was going to
I'm sorry.
explain it. Quinacridone Magenta and burnt Umber in equal parts. And it's going to make our base gray for our rocks and our candles there. I'm just going to add more white to it to change the tone, and you can add more blue if you want more blue gray. You can add more brown if you want a warmer gray, more brownish gray. So I love this gray. It's really easy to do. It's pretty foolproof. And it's got a lot of easy variation of tone. All right, if you're ultramarine blue, I'm using golden. Some ultramarine blues I've heard are a little bit more purple or a little bit more transparent than the one I'm using. So you may just have to keep that in mind. You may You may need to maybe even add a little bit of phthalo blue or something like that to yours if you need to. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to take a little bit off to the side here and add some of my white to it. Oh, what a pretty color. Perfect. Okay, just kind of smushing that color off my palette knife there to try to...
So you said equal parts of Quinacridone Magenta and burnt umber.
Ultramarine Blue and burnt umber.
Okay, because you said Quinacridone Magenta.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. Not right. That is not right.
Okay.
Ultramarine Blue.
Ultramarine Blue and burnt Sienna.
Umber.
Burnt. Ultramarine.
Are you trying to mess me up?
Ultramarine Blue.
And burnt umber.
Burnt umber.
Yes. Equal parts. Okay. That is our kind of base gray that's going to be used for our candles and our rocks. Okay, and I'm going to spray it with some water to keep it wet. Just spray your paints as you work. And I also, when I'm pulling my paint colors, of course with my palette knife I kind of took it from the side, but when I use my brush, I'm only going to take it from this front end and leave this back side protected, and that kind of that back part, as we work after 2 hours or so, that back part's going to kind of form a film, but it'll protect the paint underneath so that that paint underneath will stay fresh. So as we kind of pull the fresh paint out from underneath, that little dome of protection will keep it fresh longer. But if you pull the paint from the middle of it and expose all of it to air, then it will dry out a lot faster. So I get a lot of questions about why my paints don't dry out fast, and I think that that's part of the reason. It's just because I don't have them all exposed. Like this paint here is going to dry out a whole lot faster than my black wood, just because it's got more of a surface area hitting with white. Okay, I'm going to have to move my mic because I'm going to hit it with this brush. Okay. Is the sound better with the Mark added a mic to today's? So I have a mic on either side of me now.
So far,
let me
so
know
good.
in the comments if you think it sounds better. Mark's saying yes.
Well, yeah, until you move that mic completely, not pointing at you anymore. But
Well, it'll be back.
okay, I'll be back. It's a Terminator mic. I'm going to call it.
Very lightly. I've got black, mostly black. I've got a little bit of this light gray in here, and I'm just kind of lightly kind of creating this wood grain effect across. And really should have done this before I drew in my candles, but you know, c'est la vie. All right. Yeah, that's good. You can do a little bit brighter gray in some places if you want it. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to use this down here and kind of do it sort of just side by side, side to side, and just kind of lay the brush almost flat on the canvas and just kind of scratch that paint on. And create a really kind of just dragging that paint onto the canvas. My brush is wet, so it's not technically dry brushing, but I'm kind of trying to go for that effect almost. And if you have a trouble controlling it with this brush, you could always grab like a scruffy brush or something and use that. But this has got much more surface area to this brush, so it's going to go on a lot faster just doing it this way. And then I can go back in with a little bit more of the brighter color, and just in a few places put a little bit of the brighter color. This candle has some bright parts right in front, like it's got some reflections coming down. Okay, that's good. Nothing too fancy. And I'm going to use the corner of my edge of my brush and just kind of doing some lines like you'd see in wood grain, you know, just some random, try to keep them parallel. I mean, it's okay if they curve a little bit because some of the wood grains do kind of curve into one another, but there we go. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of the burnt sienna, and I'm seeing a little bit of brown in some of these, so I'm just going to add just a little touch of brown. If you want to really spend time on this background and make it look really wood grained, I've got a lot of videos that show, you know, more detail than I'm doing here, how to do that. So you feel free to check those out. You can just tell by the titles, obviously. You can see the ones that have more wood grain. We did one this Christmas, was the poinsettia one, had a pretty decent explanation of how we did the wood grain on that one. So all right, I'm happy with that. And then what we can do, if you want to have slats in it, you can take your black and a ruler and just use that edge and go across and create our little slats in our board. However wide you want. There we go. See that? It's very subtle. This one's really only going to show right there a little bit. All right. What were you saying? Huh?
So somebody said that it may be an argan nut.
Argan nut? Mm.
Yeah. Like that there.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Maybe.
It looks quite large. It almost looks like a coconut, but it's not. I know it's
Somebody
not.
said that it may be seed pods.
Seed pods. I think it said on the original photo on the that I bought. I just don't remember what it said. Okay, so let's get going here. We've been half an hour just to do the background. That's it. Background and drawing. Let's paint. All right.
Yeah,
So we're going to start from back to front. And so we'll work on this gray canvas, our candles. We've got the gray already mixed up here. I'm going to grab some of that. And I'm going to start with the light side first and pull, line my brush up right up against the edge. I've got the number 8 bright here. And if you want to, you can turn it so that you're pulling from this side. This will be more natural direction to pull it from. So I'm going to just kind of tap in my line there, make sure that I've got a kind of a straight line, and I'm just going to pull my paint across. I've got a little bit too watery here. I sprayed down that paint, so it's a little bit watery. There we go. You can see how we're kind of just leaving that backside dark. There, okay. So then I'm going to grab that darker gray. Oh, okay, sorry. Is that better? Darker gray. And I'm going to come along this edge and pull into that wet paint from this side. And I'm just kind of flicking it. I'm not dragging it really far. I'm just kind of flicking it into that wet paint on that side so that they kind of merge a little bit in the middle and blend. Cashmere's wanting in.
She forgives me.
What'd you do?
The vacuum.
Oh, Mark tried to vacuum the cat. She didn't like it too much. Fortunately, she's got a short attention span. Okay, so I've got a little bit more there. if it's starting to get sticky and it doesn't want to do this next blend, what I would do is just let it dry completely and then do another layer. You don't have to get it right on the first try. So that, I'm pretty happy with that. I just wanted it light enough right here. I didn't want it super light, but I wanted it light enough so that when I do this dark, that there'll be a little bit of contrast there. What are you doing up here? Are you gonna get up here by me? Come here. Come on, you can come over. You come say hi? Come here. Come get some loves. Here's my cat Cashmere. She's gonna rub on that brush a little bit. Okay, thank you, baby. You wanna go over to Daddy? What are you doing? No, you're just gonna be right in my face? She's purring. Okay. Well, she's getting over by the palette. She wants more of the brush. All right, baby girl, you're gonna have to get down. Say goodbye. Well, we're speaking of cats. We're painting a cat tomorrow for our monthly bonus video. Oh, now my canvas is covered with cat hair and my paints. Wow. She just left a bunch of paint. Look at that. No, you can't come back over. All right. But I'm having a moment there. All right, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of a warmer color. I think I'm going to just grab a little bit of, let's grab a little bit of this gold and see what happens. I don't want it to turn like a green color. That's all right. All right, so let's go back to this color here. And we'll do this candle right in front. Well, actually, I don't want to do him yet. I want to do the blue one. So we'll wait. Sorry. Let's clean that out. And I'm going to use kind of a mixture of both of these blues here and then add the black to it. Oh, Phthalo blue, Ultramarine blue, and then a little bit of black. I added too much black there. So you can see that this color, get a piece of paper here, you can see the color that we made. If I can find a clean spot. There we go. So this color is the color we just made. It's got both of the Ultramarine blue and Phthalo blue with a little bit of black. And then here is Prussian blue. So it's going to have a little bit more of the Ultramarine blue tones in it. And I think I'm going to use it for the candles in the front and use this one for the darker candle. There's two different colors of blue candle. There's one that's a little bit brighter. It's got a little bit more of a pink tones or purpley tones in it. So if you use just Ultramarine blue and a little bit of black, you get a color pretty similar to that Prussian blue there. See that? And then I did mention that I was going to mix a color that was similar to this Quinacridone gold. So there's that color. And I think if we do our Quinacridone Magenta with the yellow cadmium yellow medium or cadmium yellow light here, we can get a color that's, if not the same, fairly similar. be a little bit more of a orange. And then, so here's the color. Well, see, that's pretty darn close. So you don't have to go out and buy that color. I just like to have some of these pre-mixed colors because now I don't have to worry about mixing them while I'm painting during the show. But so don't feel like you have to run out and buy them all, you know, have them all. I just do it because it saves me time.
Especially if you're carrying scissors. You don't want to be running with scissors, so you are going to run out to get them. Put the scissors down.
Is that so? Okay.
Yep.
Good tip, honey.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Safety
Good job.
first.
Safety first, yep. I love you. Oh, how I ever did these shows
too.
without you. If you are new, we are so glad to have you with us today. Hope you will stay. Hope we don't
Yeah.
scare you off. Hope you'll come back and join us again another time. We do these twice a week on YouTube, and I do one on Crowdcast once a week for patrons on Thursdays, but we do these on Tuesday nights and Saturdays all year long.
And you got another bonus video tomorrow.
We do. We have a Patreon bonus video we do for our $5 level folks once a month, and we've got a whole library of older ones too that we've done some really cool bonus videos over the years. So you can't really see anything there yet. That's just kind of the base coat here, and I'm going to grab some white here and now add that to that Prussian Blue. And now we'll do this side of it, of the candle, and it'll show up. Ooh, how pretty is that? And if there's any kind of curve in this candle, I would be curving this line, but since these candles are pretty straight up and down, I'm not having to do that. So like on this bottom one, I'm going to curve it down. As I do this line, I would curve it down just a little bit. And then as I get toward the top, I would kind of just follow that curve, whatever it is. These ones are pretty straight though. I'm going to go right over the top of this rock as if it's not even here, so I don't have to worry about painting around it. It's just be easier to do that, and then we can paint that black over the top of the candle when we're ready to paint the rock. So yeah, if you're interested in the Crowdcast or the bonus videos that we do, they're a little bit more in depth. So we usually take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to finish them. The bonus videos, and the ones that I do for the $10 level on. So the bonus video is $5, and the $10 level is the one that has that special Facebook group, and they get a weekly. So the $5 level is once a month, just one video, and then the $10 level, they get a weekly thing that we work on one project all month long. So it's usually a lot more in depth, and they get to do critiques, and they get to pick the paintings that we paint for the bonus videos and stuff like that. So they get a little bit more access and control over what we do. It's pretty cool.
The $10 level gets access to that once a month video also.
Yes, they get everything that the other levels get plus more.
So traceables at $1.
Right.
Bonus video and traceable at $5.
Right. I'm going to use this brush here. This is a fix-it brush. I'm just going to wet it down and just go along that edge and kind of straighten it out a little bit. Got a little bit off when I painted that in. Let me keep that straight. Okay, and I'm just going to dab it off. Uh-oh, lifted off the paint there when I did that. That's fine. We'll paint that back in. I wondered about that. That paint wasn't quite cured, so I don't want to do that. Okay. And then when we do this rock, we'll paint over this right here. I'm still not done with this candle, so I'm not ready to do that yet. But right, that blue is not quite the same. It's a little bit more of a smoky blue. So what we're going to do is we'll go back over it with, I'm going to actually add a little bit of the gray to it from down here. And I think that'll kind of tone it down because it looks pretty bright right now to me. And I definitely want the darker version of it. I'm going to get that black mixture from over here and use that right up against this candle here to have a really nice dark contrast between that candle and this one. Very moody. Okay, let's do this one now. Again, same color, that dark black blue. Prussian blue. We used Prussian blue in our winter forest painting that we did, the magical Christmas forest one with the light shining down. It's such a pretty painting. It's like one of my favorite paintings we've done all last year. Was really something. And that one I don't think was very hard. I've seen a lot of people painting it and they've been turning out really good. So I always like it when I see that y'all are painting them and that you're having good success with it. I'm gonna mix this light gray with this color. I think that's gonna do a better blue. Oh yeah, that's it. That's what we needed. We just needed a little bit of gray in it. Much better.
So somebody's asked to see a close-up of the Fix-It brush when you got a moment.
Okay. It's just a real stiff bristled brush with a kind of a tapered point. So it's stiff bristled, but it's kind of shaved so that it comes to a point there. Yeah, they're pretty handy. I love, this is the color right here. This is it right here. So this is the gray mixed with that Prussian blue. And really this is actually all dark right here because it's getting a shadow off of this one. So we'll darken that back up. I'm going to use this color over here on this one. Coming in just a little bit from the edge because the highlight is kind of right more in the middle. And if you're getting a straight line right here, what you can do is go back and forth. So I'm trying not to hit my microphone. It's too low today. Back and forth like this. And kind of start in the middle here and kind of sweep it back and forth. I have very, very little paint on my brush so that I can control it. And then you'll get a smooth blend on either side here. Get a little bit more of that brighter gray.
And I want to just have a clarification on the Patreon stuff that when you sign up at the $5 and $10 levels, you do get access to all the past videos.
Yes, you do.
And tutorials, so it unlocks all that for you as long as you're a member at that level.
Right.
It's not just this month's.
Right, exactly. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I like it. All right, let's do this candle here. This one is really pretty dark up. There's a little bit of, let's go ahead and put a little bit of the light on the very top here where it's lit up. There's a little bit of a glow at the very top of that candle. So we'll go ahead and kind of put a little edge right there. And same thing for this one. There's a little bit of a area that's kind of lit up right at the top. these colors. They're so pretty. Now, if you're missing the brown, what you could do instead of doing the dark blue here, you could do kind of a brownish blue, or add a little bit more brown to this gray and do a gray that's got the brown color in it. If you want that kind of taupey brown color more in here. I don't have any of this left because I did not spray it. So I have to create it again here. Ultramarine, Phthalo, and black. I really can grab that Prussian blue. Prussian blue just is got black in it. It's already mixed. It's a pre-mixed color. It's not a true pure color. It's mixed. So like true colors would be phthalo. You can't mix phthalo blue. You can't mix, you can mix something similar to ultramarine blue with phthalo blue, but you can't mix phthalo blue. At least I haven't found it you can. Same thing with Quinacridone Magenta. It's not a color that you can really mix with anything else. Some colors can be mixed and some colors can't. Cadmium yellow, can't mix. Cadmium yellow light, you can't mix that. You can't even mix it with cadmium yellow medium because it's a brighter form of cadmium yellow. You can get something close to cadmium medium with cadmium yellow light, but you can't get the light version with the cadmium yellow medium. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm just talking. Just talking.
Well, it's part of your job.
I know.
To explain hard things.
Okay. All right, so adding that gray to this color, I'm going to make sure I keep this all wet because I do not want this gray to dry out before I do my last candle. So I did the dark color first because this candle is more dark. It's not as light, so I wanted the dark to kind of dominate this one. And there we go. Okay. Grabbing that darker color in the opposite direction. And then we're going to grab that gray, mix it a little bit, and come right up the top and just do a little area right in here, all the way down. And if it's too, whoops, sorry, no, that was probably loud. I'm going to have to let this dry, this first layer dry. It's not wanting to blend for me. Okay, so wait to do this part until that first layer dries because it's wanting to lift that original layer there a little bit. Just let it set. I'm going to get that dark gray or dark brown blue and pull one more time. Okay. I think that's good. Dark blue at the top. Make sure I've got a good nice straight line there. I'm going to go over this candle right here and just make sure that there's a shadow right there. Okay. These are coming together pretty quick. They're not all that hard. Really not. They're really fun to paint. I hope you guys I hope we have some people watching today because because I know I've done candles twice before. They were Christmas candles though, so I wanted to do one that was just for any time of year in case you really like the candles and want to leave them out all year long. So I think this would be pretty in a bathroom or something like that, probably.
Then you have to add seashells to it.
Need to add seashells if you're going to put it in the bathroom. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that rule. You should see Mark. Mark's trying to type over the top of the cat. The cat's like right here, and he's like doing like this over the top of her back. She's just laying across his whole front area there. She's just taking over the whole spot that he works. It's hilarious. She is the ruler of the daddy. All right. I think I'm going to use the 3/8 inch Willow blender for the rocks. I'm going to grab a little bit of this gray. And I'm just going to very lightly, and I have very little paint on there. Can you see how little paint I have? Very little. And it may even be too much there. Yep, let's wipe it off. I am barely scrubbing here. And I'm just going to do kind of a circular motion because this is not smooth. I mean, the rocks are smooth, but there's kind of a variation in the surface. So we're going to get that best by kind of scrubbing in a circle here. And when you run out of paint like this, then you can do your dark areas. So wait until you do the light areas first, and then wait until you get most of it off your brush, and then you can kind of work in and get a little color in your dark areas. Pick up a little bit more paint on the tip, work right at the very brightest area, and then work it in towards the darker areas. And I'm really staying away from this bottom edge because it goes dark real quick right there. So I don't need it dark back or any of the lighter color down there. I want to get that shape of that rock rounded out. Super easy. I'm going to come up underneath it just a little bit right there. And if you get too much of the light color, grab a little bit of your darker color and you can push it back. And I do want some of this darker, kind of medium toned gray in here, so I'm gonna kind of go back over from the dark area into the light. Okay, and then we'll just assume that rock is down in here. So then our next one is going to be right up here. A little bit of that lighter color, and I'm going to come up right in here, draw that in with the very tip of the brush, and then kind of scrub it down. Just whisper, and it'll go on softer. I don't know why I whisper when I do this. Is it picking up my whispers now, though, better with the two mics?
Yep.
Good. Good, good, good. That was Mark's genius idea this morning. Good going, hun.
Well, I've been thinking about it for a while, but it's taken me some time to remember.
To remember to do it before the show?
Yeah. I usually remember in the middle of the show, and it wouldn't be very convenient to me.
It doesn't help when people start complaining that they can't hear me. Mm-hmm. I know, I love it when people are like, leave me comments, and then we're like, Mark, you need to turn up the volume. We can't hear Angela. And I'm like, he gets blamed for what I'm doing. Okay, so again, kind of that medium color, and I'm going right over the top of my drawing there. Don't worry about it. Looks a little bit like a potato right now. For some reason. Don't really know why, but it's reading potato to me, so we're gonna try to work on it until it doesn't look like a potato. Definitely don't want it to be brown, then it would definitely look like a potato. I think it's the shape. They're just kind of potato-shaped rocks. Potato.
Is that what the boys would say about cashmere? Potato?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but...
I don't know either. They always had kind of weird things that I never understood. Getting some of that lighter gray and kind of just doing it right in the middle part right there. And same thing here. That brings that forward. See how that did? Looks flat until you kind of do a little highlight right here. And then it pulls that whole part forward towards us.
Okay, somebody has asked that if they do put this in the bathroom, is there anything special they need to do to it before they put it in there?
Varnish it for sure. So be sure you varnish. You should do that anyways. But be sure, for sure to varnish it if you're putting it in a bathroom. And I wouldn't put it close to an area like, I wouldn't put it in your bathroom. Like our boys' bathroom, we don't put art in there because the walls have condensation on them when they're done with their showers. They take such long showers. I say Nathan and Jordan are out of the house now in their own houses. So, but Spencer still does, Spencer's still in there, and we've got 3 boys. And when we had all 3 of them here in the house together, my gosh, that poor bathroom, the walls would get moldy because they would just, take such long showers, and then it never dried out in between with the 3 of them. So I would not put it in a bathroom like that. I wouldn't put art ever in a bathroom where there's a lot of condensation on the walls or anything, because it'll basically rot your canvas. It'll get mold probably on the canvas itself. So make sure that you've got enough air flow around your canvases if it's going in a bathroom. Like a powder room or something like that, where it's just a toilet would be great, perfect. If you are doing it on paper, you can frame it, but just make sure that you don't have the paint touching the glass, because it'll stick to the glass. So.
But if you don't take showers, then you can probably just put it in the bathroom and be fine.
Just fine.
Yeah.
So your recommendation is that if you put art in your bathroom, not to take showers.
Right.
Okay.
And then everybody will know that you're an artist.
Your art will have no problems with rotting or getting mold. I think that's a good suggestion, honey. I didn't think of it, but
so
you're onto something there.
Somebody has now suggested that they are pong seeds.
Okay.
And here's a picture.
Yes, that's what they are. What are they?
Pong.
Pong.
Yeah, or suicide something or other.
Oh, interesting.
Suicide tree seeds.
Wow. I've never heard of that. Where are they from?
A tree.
But, what part of the world?
I'm going to say not Arkansas for sure.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
Marshy areas of India and Southeast Asia.
Very cool. Well, no wonder we've never seen them.
Correct.
Why are they called suicide trees? That's weird. Maybe we don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. and what brush are you using on the stones? Somebody's asked.
This is the 3/8" Willow's blender, or blender. Now they're called blender in the In the Select line, they're called lunar blenders. So if you get it in the blue-handled brushes, they look the same. They're just called lunar blenders. And then this one is an older one. It's called Willow's blender. The newer ones are just say blender on them. So change the name, I guess.
Okay, so it has its name because it bears a fruit known as a ophthalanga that yields a potent poison.
Ooh.
That has been used for suicide and burner.
Oh, wow.
So let's not put those in the
I'm
spa.
just going to leave them out, I think.
That's a little too relaxed.
Right. What kind of spa is this?
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, we have a spa for plants here where they come to spend their final days. But
yeah. Oh my gosh. I made that rock too big. I'm going to have to take some of that off there. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's true.
It's true. It's so true. Oh, the best thing that we ever did was install automatic waterers on the front porch. So now our plants don't die by May.
By neglect.
I plant them in like April. And by May, they're not looking too good out there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Back to painting. I'm getting some carbon black here. Clean brush. I made this one a little bit too big, so I'm just going to kind of take it down. So I want it to look a little smaller than the one underneath. It was about the same size. Ooh, wow, that's bright. Did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay. I can do a little bit more to it too. And then our last one here is going to be right in here. Oh, that's why I did the bright, because I was going to do this last one. And scrub it out. Do your brightest part first, right along that edge where you want it brightest, and then scrub out into the darker areas once that paint's off your brush. And if it doesn't ever go off, you just need to wipe it off. Like if you have too much paint to start with, you may just have to wipe it. I don't know why I didn't get this paint. This is just not big enough. I just need to go bigger.
So Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
And
Ooh.
if your significant other is trying to think of things to get you, there's a link down below this video to the brush guys.
Yes.
And you can just send them a list of the brushes you want off there.
That's a good idea.
5% off with the code AngelaFineArt.
Very good idea.
And the brushes will last a lot longer than a dozen red roses.
That's true.
So
Take care of them. They'll last for years.
just saying.
It's a good plan. Marcus knows from experience what I enjoyed getting. And it kind of takes the fun out of shopping anymore because not really, but I get my brushes online now. I used to like to go and shop for them in the stores and stuff, but now with our sponsors, whenever I go to Hobby Lobby, I'm like, well, I could ask for that. I can't, it's like, it's not the same. It's awesome. I'm not complaining. It's just like, it's a different experience going to the art store now. Cause I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't get that like excitement that I used to get from shopping there. Cause I usually leave without buying anything. Cause I can get most of it from our sponsors now, which is Not a bad thing. Just funny. I don't know why I'm talking about that. I'm going to stop right now. Sounded like I'm complaining. I'm not.
Well, no, it's part of the experience of going and picking up the brush and feeling it and
Right.
and you know, now we just order everything online.
I do. Yeah. Yep. It's
Same
not
thing
the
with
same.
shopping. You know, I can go pick up a can. Yep.
I
That's
know.
good.
I don't. We're not. Walmart. No. You're not going to tell me Walmart's as exciting as shopping for brushes.
Okay, so going to the hardware store,
Okay, there you go.
looking at the drills and
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I kind of just put in that black right there to kind of do the top part of that rock. We're going to glaze these, so these are a lot brighter than they're going to end up being. They look a little bit too bright right now, and that's normal. So, and I don't know how they ended up all being the same. I don't know. I'm not 100% happy with those. This one, I think, this one was supposed to be farther back, I think. I don't know. I think it's the way I drew it. Getting that darker color here. Just gonna round off that end of that one. We get a little bit of black. There we go. I'm gonna go bigger on this one. Bring it up a little higher. And then get some of that darker color. Kind of tap it in. And just use the tips of the bristles there to kind of create some texture in that rock. Some speckled kind of looking parts, just tapping, letting those bristles separate out and create a little texture there. Instead of scrubbing, I'm kind of more tapping now. There we go. Get some of that dark, and I'm just going to tap. What are you doing, hon?
side cam.
Oh,
And then also people were talking about the orchid and rocks painting,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
put it there next to you if you want to.
Yeah, that was one we did last year.
That was on
2019.
Patreon?
Yeah, it was a bonus video, right?
I think so,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that $5 level. And I can't remember how long it took, but it wasn't as long as you might think. I think it was a 5 hour maybe. Can't remember.
Not that long.
Well, I mean,
Just 5
some bonus
hours.
videos go real long, so
5 hours is quite long.
it is long. It is long, especially when Mark wants a snack. I'm going to bring this down a little bit, bring it in. Just using the black.
So after the video today, we're taking down the Christmas tree.
I think so. We need to.
Yeah. Since you're making me work tomorrow too, I guess.
I know. Cashmere will be sad.
Yeah.
Take her favorite place. Napping under the Christmas tree. Okay. We'll have to fix that with some dark, but I like that a little bit better. Okay, so let's grab a little bit of our Prussian Blue, mix that with our gray here. And I'm going to use it for our plate. The rim of our plate here goes across. And really all of this that's dark in here is just all dark, so. Okay, then I'm going to grab some burnt sienna. Come right below it. I'm still using this scruffy brush. You can use whatever brush you have. If this one doesn't do good for you, you can switch to a different brush. Go. It gets a little bit of that unbleached titanium there. And just use it right at the top of that rim. And then it should kind of fade to black underneath. So I'm going to clean that brush out and then get black. A little bit of the glazing medium. So it's thinned out. And we ought to let that dry a little bit, but I think it's dry enough. And I'm going to go right over the bottom of that edge of that plate and make sure there's like a dark shadow right underneath it. Pull it up over the top of that gray that we did before. So it's not going to cover it completely. You should be able to still see a little bit of that gray detail maybe, since this is transparent. And then I'm going to use it also underneath my rock here. Underneath my candle. And then on both sides, so it's going to go up on the rock itself too. And on the candle here, in that shadowy area, and to shadow that so it's almost indistinguishable where that rock starts and the candle stops or whatever. Light source is coming from this direction, so our shadows are all going to be on this side. Getting that glazing medium. Maybe not that much. And just using it to smush around and tap in, creating a nice transition between the dark and light area here on our rock. See, now once we do these ones, it's going to look just like that. It's going to be way better. It'll look way more natural. So again, here, getting that black, going really dark right up next to the area where that rock starts. There, the light's not hitting as much of these back in here because these candles and things are in the way of are kind of blocking the light a little bit. Glazing medium. I'm going to go use that edge of it just to kind of draw that dark line there and then just blend it up a little bit into this rock. And then wipe that off on a paper towel and just kind of use what's left on my brush to kind of soften up that top edge there. Even though it's lighter, we still doesn't need to be quite that dark or that bright. Just soften up that edge a little bit. And then let's get this nice and dark back in here. So we go underneath the rock and then we go on the rock itself also. More on this side than this side. Really dark right there. I already had a pretty good dark line between these two, so I'm not having to do as much on that, but I do want to kind of soften up that top edge because it is also rounded. It's not a flat edge, so it's not going to have a hard line there. It's going to be just slightly softened where it turns and rounds out on the top there. So all these edges are going to have just a little bit of softness on them. The bright part will be a little bit on the inside of the edge. See that? That'll round those off. Okay. If you don't have glazing medium, just use a little bit of water, but don't use too much water with heavy body acrylics because they will underbind. You'll end up they won't stick to the canvas properly if you add too much water. So just be aware of that. You can dry brush it instead of glazing. If you're using, if you don't have a glazing medium, you could just kind of dry brush the color on like we did with the lighter color. Scrub on the dry paint over the top and it'll kind of do similar. It won't be quite as smooth looking, but it'll be similar enough and do the job for you. Okay, pretty happy with those. And I'm going to get a little bit more of that black and just kind of put it in here in this area here to just kind of indicate something happening back in there. We don't know what. Let's get a little bit of glaze right here. I'm just going to go along this side of the candle and pull in that dark black along that edge there. All right. Okay, getting the gray here, making sure we got some of that. I'm going to add the unbleached titanium. That'll give it that little bit of a warmness. Okay. Setting the brush down and pulling it. I need to turn it. Okay. I think it's a little bit off. I think I need to bring it out just a little bit more over here. bottom. I'm going to round it out just a little bit. All right. And then grabbing that darker gray. Ooh, trying to get in. There we go. There we go. Some of that medium gray and round out the top just a little bit. Okay. Is that straight? I think it is. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the smaller of the Deerfoot stipplers here, or not the Deerfoot stipplers, but the scrubbers here, and a little bit of the Zinc White. And I grabbed a little bit of the gray, but I think I just really need the Zinc White mostly. And I'm gonna use the edge of that brush to scribble our highlight on these Kindles, just scrubbing it back and forth. Very lightly, very little paint on my brush. The paint underneath is dried completely, so this is like the first one we did, right? So it's very dry underneath, so I can scrub it. It's not gonna scrub off. And get a little bit more paint here. Let's go a little bit brighter right there. See how that just pulls that forward. Okay, let's do it on these ones too. Okay. We may have to leave that one. We'll just do these other ones first. Let that dry a little bit. So scrubbing lightly back and forth first. I'm trying to create sort of the line where we're going to have that highlight go. And we can add a little bit across the top too. And then grab a little bit more of that white. There we go. And then right up in here. Again, they're about the same distance, so there's about finger width apart from the edge there. So it's just inside, like right about the halfway mark and to this side a little bit. The zinc white being transparent, it's already kind of got that translucency in it, so we don't have to do a whole lot. It'll let the base color shine through a little bit. It's not gonna be too overpowering. If we use titanium white, then you would want to use glazing medium. Maybe even add a little bit of the base blue or whatever color you're using to your color as well. I'm gonna get a little bit of that Prussian blue, a little bit of my gray. That was our color that we had right there. I'm gonna just add a little bit of that in there. Kind of right along that edge of where that white is on either side. Just soften it up a little bit. So let's do the same thing with this. Just a little bit of that light gray blue on either side of that highlight. Just scrub it in. Soften that transition between the colors. And if you need some more of it up here, you can add a little bit more up along that edge there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's add a little bit of get a little bit of that Prussian blue and a little bit of the black. And I have that white on my brush, so it's kind of mixed with it. Add a little bit at the top of that. Getting a little bit of that zinc white. I'm going to add a little bit of glazing medium too, just to kind of help it flow a little bit better. This one's that one to show up. Come on, brush. There you go. I'm starting really slow, so it's like at first it's not really showing up much. Now, one thing I will caution you with using this technique with the scrubbing is that if it starts to dry, there's a tendency for the paint to lift. So that's what happened over here when I was messing with that paint too long and putting too many layers on all at once. What happens is that those initial layers will start to dry, and then if you scrub over the top of them, they will lift off. You just pull the paint right off the canvas. So just be aware of that and don't over scrub in the same area for too long. So you can do this in multiple steps. You know, you don't have to do it all in one setting. You can do this one and then come back to this one and add more. I might add a little bit more over here later. These are starting to get a little sticky right here, so I'm going to just let it set.
Looking good.
Thanks.
You're doing a great job on the painting too.
Hilarious.
What you talking about?
Let's get a little zinc white here. I got the gray on there too. And I'm going to add some to that stone again. I'm going to wipe most of it off here. I And I'm going to add some to the stone here and just kind of scrub it around there. Get some of the darker color. And you may have to glaze and, you know, go back and forth 2 or 3 times before you get it just the right, you know, amount. I tend to fuss with mine and add multiple layers of glazing. It really adds to the painting. So don't feel like you have to get it right on the first try. You know, if you kind of look at your rocks and you're like, yeah, they're kind of still not quite where you want them to be, then, you know, you can repeat the whole process, do the whole thing back over again, or even add a different color to your glaze. So sometimes I'll go back in and maybe I'll add a little bit of blue or a little bit of gold, or, you know, depending on where the light's coming from and what, you know, what's happening. Like on these rocks here, I might add just a little bit, especially on these top ones. I'll probably add a little bit of the gold color in a glaze when we do the light shining from the candles. So something to look forward to. Okay, good. So I think pretty happy with most of these candles. I want to work on that one a little bit more. Let's get a little bit of that white, zinc white here. Go. Let's do it on this one now. Get a little bit of that unbleached titanium there. Add it to this. I'm going to just pull through that whole area with this. This candle is just a little bit lighter than the other ones. It's up front, it's getting more of that light. It's a little bit lighter in general. And then grabbing that darker color, mixing that in, and might even use a little bit of the glazing medium, that darker gray mixture. There we go. Pulling from the dark side of the candle towards the light, over the top a little bit, and letting those blend together. And I'm literally just flicking that brush. I'm not pulling it over, I'm just setting it down and where I want it to be brightest and flicking it towards the area where I want them to blend. And that way I don't get a line where I start and stop it. Well, you'll get a line where you start it, but not where you stop it. I'll explain that more here in a second. Okay, so second coat definitely helped blend that out a little bit. So I should have mentioned this before because this is like our main technique on these candles, but basically what I'm doing is setting that brush down. Let's use the black so you can see it better. Setting the brush down and flicking it does getting a broken edge. If I press the brush down and pull it, then I'm going to have a straight line where I lift it. But if I set it down and flick it, I'll get a streaked line. And, you know, depending on what kind of brush you use and how much pressure you put on it, if you can kind of get that feel for it as you pull it and lift, you can get this nice kind of streaked line. You'll have a dark area here, and then it'll streak to nothing, as opposed to setting it down and pulling it and lifting. And I think that's what a lot of, you know, if you're having trouble blending, you may be doing that. You may be doing like this and not doing like this. Make sure that the tail end of your brush is flicking out that way. Okay. And then you'll have a whole lot easier time of it. Trust me, it'll be a whole lot easier if you do that than if you're trying to. Otherwise, you really can't get this effect at all. It's not going to work.
Somebody wants to know which glazing medium you are using right now.
Golden gloss glazing liquid from Golden.
With a green paint stripe.
I also like the satin. I don't tend to use the matte medium. You know, some artists like matte medium. It really doesn't matter what medium you use, as long as you use a medium to help the paint stick to the canvas and thin it out. It doesn't have to be this particular one, you know, but of course gel medium is not gonna work because it's thicker. You're wanting to thin it out, so you know, keep that in mind. You'll want a medium that's thinner than your paint to add that transparency. That's what we're going for here with our glazing. And not all glazing mediums are made the same. Some glazing mediums from other companies don't have the extender in them, and they will dry a whole lot faster than you want them to. They can be really difficult to use with acrylics. So just keep that in mind. You might want to, I would only recommend the Golden if you're going to use glazing medium. I think, I'm sure there's other brands that have things that would work, but I just know as far as glazing mediums, I've only found that one to be the one that I like. And Golden doesn't pay me to say that, so they should, though. Call me. No, I'm joking.
But
that
seriously,
is one thing I still paint. Still buy is paints.
You can call me.
Mark's, but seriously.
Yeah, but for real.
They don't sponsor videos.
But it's a new decade. We can change things.
That's true. You never know. Okay, getting that bright highlight right at the top there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with those. So let's, wow, we're almost at 2 hours. Okay, need to hurry this up. Let me see. I was going to use this to scrub in. I think I'll go ahead and use it if my paint's still wet.
And what is this?
This is the scrubber, the scumbler. Did not wet it down. Just don't wet your paint down, your brush down. You can add a little glazing medium. You can use wet paint on it. Just don't wet it in water. Straight into the water. Okay. So I'm going to take, when you use this, you want it dry and you want very little paint on it. I'm going to take it right where I'm going to put these candle flames and add a little bit of glow. It may not show up right at first, but that's okay. We'll work on it until it does. Okay. Get a little bit of the yellow. Cadmium yellow is this color, this Quinacridone Nicolazo gold is transparent. You can see through that black really well. So if you want to make it more opaque, you either have to add white or yellow, cadmium yellow that's opaque. So we're going to add a little bit of that. See if that helps this show up against that dark black. That's going to help quite a bit. I can still start and see it now. And I'm just wanting very light. I don't want a really hard edge here. And I'm not doing a big glow like I've done on some of the other candles. These ones aren't really showing a big halo of color around them. Now you can totally do that if you want that effect. That's up to you. Just saying I'm not going to do that because it's not really in our candle picture. But I did want a little bit of like just a slight glow back there before we start filling it in. All right, so grabbing the number 1 round. And I'm going to get a little bit of the yellow and my white, mostly white. And I'm going to draw in our main flame, which is going to be right in here. And it's sort of like a heart shape, upside down. And I'm purposefully kind of doing this loose, so the outer edges are a little bit fuzzy. I'm just looking at the shape of my candles, flames. There we go. Okay, let's do this next one. This one's right inside the gray. Down low.
So you said that brush was a scumbler.
Mm-hmm.
What is the technical number or name or
Scumbler.
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 Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Name and the technique are the same. Makes it easy.
And it is different than the fix-it brush.
Yes, it is. It's similar, but it's different. It's softer. The bristles aren't as hard. They're more flexible, and it's not as tapered. Not as short. These are much firmer. Mm-hmm. These are hog bristle brushes. This is hog bristle, I think, or something similar. Okay. And this one's actually kind of
somebody
down in. What?
Has asked if they can use Indian yellow in place of
Yes.
the Azo gold.
Yes, I almost grabbed that one. Yep, it's a great color for this. Very similar. Indian yellow here, Azo. No, that's nickel Azo. Where is the Quinacridone nickel? So those are the two. That's how they compare. This one's just a little bit browner. This one's much more vibrant, like brighter orangey yellow. So. Okay. And this one's kind of taller. Okay. Now I'm going to grab that yellow and the nickel Azo. And I've still got that white on my brush, so it's tinting it just a little bit. And I'm just going to tap it along that edge. Kind of fuzz it in. I want it soft. Don't want a really hard edge. Just wanted to kind of make it soft and fuzzy looking. So small brush strokes and just kind of tapping it. Not too much paint on my brush. tapping it over both the outside edge and the white area. So it's fading it out. Get a little bit more of that yellow. Over at the bottom there, there's a little bit of glow right there. Same here. A little bit of glow kind of just across that bottom there. Not sure why, but I'm seeing it, so we're painting it.
Put a glow on it.
You don't want to lose this like little arch here, so just make sure you're not covering up all of that. Whoa. Okay. Wow.
We are zoomed in.
Yeah, we are. And then I'm going to grab some white. Well, before you zoom back out, to finish it off, we're going to grab some white, bright white. And add it right here. And right in the center. So that's what causes it to look like it's really bright.
Oh, so I gotta add some white to my center.
What are you talking about?
And then they'll say, hey, he looks bright. Good trick.
Yeah. Well, let's do these ones here. Get a little bit of the Quinacridone burnt orange, a little bit of the cadmium yellow. You can use a little bit of the glazing medium too. That's because I added a bunch of water to the paint. Get a little bit of the white there. That's the white that had the yellow mixture in it, that first color that we put on. And then getting that bright white. Right down low in the center. This is white with that gold, quinacridone gold. My paint's getting dry, so it's kind of fighting me here a little bit.
Oh, thanks for whispering about it, too.
Okay. Just to let you know.
At least I have 2 microphones, so I can pick you up better.
Good. There we go. I want a little bit more of that gold color. I'm going to add a little bit more to these ones too. Now that we got that color on there, they'll show up a little bit. Actually, let's work on this one first, and then we'll go back and. So this. Gonna drop of water. Drop off my brush there. There we go. It's going to look kind of messy, but you really kind of want that. You don't want it to, I don't know, at least when I do this, I don't like them to look too perfect. I feel like that kind of fuzziness around the edges just helps me with that glow. So this one needs a little bit of fuzziness because this one's a little bit better about that. So I'm going to go back in here and just kind of muss up that edge a little bit and kind of add a little bit of fuzzy color around the outside of it. See that? And then I'm going to grab that brighter gold. Let's add that gold to these ones. A little bit of yellow mixed in with it. So you kind of want it to go from dark gold to yellow to white, and it all is pretty quick, that transition. There you go. Okay, go ahead and zoom out, and then you can see the difference between all these. Okay, so now this one's the one we haven't added the white. You can see how much brighter these ones look. So once we add that little bit of white right in the middle there, it'll really pop it out for us. Grab that yellow. This really would work a little bit better if I had a stiffer bristled brush, but I don't. So. Not really sure what brush would be small enough to get in these little spots. And going back in with that gold there around the edges. Just kind of making sure that I've got a good transition between the gold and the yellow and the white. Okay, I'm pretty happy with those, I think. I had just a little bit more white on that one. Right there. Just do them all, why not? Okay. Then I'm going to use, I'll go ahead and use this, I guess. And I'm going to use this gold with the glazy medium. A little bit of the yellow in there. And we're going to use it to, on our candle at the very top, these ones are getting a little bit of a glow. What are you laughing at?
I'm reading the back of the chocolate package that Miss Mona sent us.
Okay.
And obviously I can't read Swedish or
Right.
whatever.
Adding a little bit of this gold glow color to the rocks too. There. Man.
But I think the final phrase in this paragraph is for an intense flavor, but it says for intensive smackopulvers. Smackopulvers.
Smackapul.
I don't know. The last word in that top paragraph.
Smackapulaves L's. Oh, you can't see it. It's too small. That's funny. Yeah, it sounds like smack up.
Like lip smacking good.
Yeah, lip smacking good. Some things translate in any language. Mona could tell us if we're right or not, I guess. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure I was spot on.
Clean spot on here.
I don't think anybody could tell I've never spoken Swedish in my life before.
You should have. You're like
Who is
a
it?
quarter Swedish.
True.
Right? Someone's falling down on the game there.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know Italian either. Or German.
Yeah. You've got English down.
So, Mona says smackful means tasteful.
Tasteful. There you go. You're very close, son.
It's good.
Okay. Adding some of that gray to the green here. Definitely, you can tell it's been sitting here for 2 hours. It's not wanting to be very cooperative.
Unlike me, I've been sitting here for 2 hours and I want to be very cooperative.
I know. You've been very good, hon.
Oh, thank you.
Let's put a little bit of the glazy medium in there to help it out. And then we're going to just find where we want to put these leaves. And I'm going to set the brush down at an angle. So I've got a pretty good amount of paint on there. Set the brush down like this and smush it out and draw it to a tip as I pull. Make sure that you have all of your candles done before you do this step. So if there's anything that you want to do to them, do it now before you do this greenery stuff. I'm going to put the greenery, there's some coming up like this. Right there, and then I'm going to put some coming down right here. Okay, then we're going to add the yellow. Ooh, that's going to brighten it up. Let's add the Unbleached Titanium. This will be a softer highlight color than the white. Just gonna go over some of these leaves that we've just done and add a little bit of a highlight to them. I'm gonna make this one a little taller. I lost the... Wow, Cashmere, you coming back over? Well, she's on the chair. Yeah, she's on my chair. She's like, I'm coming over to check out what you're doing, Mom. Okay, come on. Come on. Come here. Okay. She's purring heavy. I think she's knows we're close to the end here. She senses that we're almost done. She's getting excited. All right. Trying to see if I want to. I really kind of didn't do this curved enough here. This plate is kind of flat, but I think it's all right. Get that darker color there and gonna blend it in here. What are you doing, baby girl? She's rubbing all over my microphone stand.
That second mic picks her up real well.
The second mic, she's purring real heavy. I know. Come here. Come here. Come check it out. Okay. She's gonna check it out. What do you think? To rub on the brush. Okay. Okay. I gotta use it here for a second. Give me a second. Then we'll go snuggle. Okay, I can't see what I'm doing, Cashmere. Okay. You're I'm gonna have to put you down, baby girl. You're pushing my brush around. I can't. She's like, get it over here, Mama. I can't reach it. Fine, I'm gonna go over to Daddy. I kind of missed that big leaf that was right here. I kind of pushed this over here too far. So I sort of lost that big leaf that came that way, but I think we're okay. Close enough. And then make sure, just if you need to, you can go back in with the black with the green here. And some glazing medium. And just glaze in the center here so that you've got some good, like, shadow in where I love you. I do. You're a sweet girl. You're gonna get all my glasses? Okay. Okay. I know. Okay, well, I'm still working here, Cashmere. Can't see what I'm doing. You're being so funny today. All right. You need to get out of the way now. I've created a monster now. I let her up here once, and now she thinks that she can come up here anytime she feels like. Okay, you need to get down, baby girl. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, what you got there, Dad? Okay. Cat hair. Cat hair. All over everything. All right, I think we're getting pretty close here. I'm just making sure that I have some good shadows with my highlighted areas here. Literally got cat hair all over this now. But yeah, so we don't really, that candle kind of looks like it's floating, but we kind of can figure out that there's obviously something back there. I don't think we need to define it too well, as long as it's not like a hard line there. It kind of just translates, kind of disappears into that area there. We've got a little bit of a touch of that brown, so I think we're good there. We could add a little bit of brown to the stems over here. We could even add some like sticks or things, but like we could add a little stem of brown there, or even like have a stick coming across here if we wanted to. I don't think I'm going to do that, but it's an option. I'm going to bring that up just a little bit there and there. I like it though. I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Let me get a little bit more of this gray here. I've got my small angle brush. I just kind of went over the top of that rock a little bit with that brown, so I'm just trying to clean that up a little bit. Okay, and then if you want to feel like you need to have a little bit more of the highlight on your candles, you can do one more layer of that zinc white there. If I can get some that'll flow for me. Got a little bit bigger brush here. I'm not sure I need it. I may just do it on this one here. I feel like this one could use a little bit more. Good.
So, are you still selling paintings?
On Etsy, I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are going to be trying to update them a little bit more often.
And what is your Etsy name or store name or whatever?
If you just Google or search Angela Anderson on Etsy, it should pop up my store. It's just
Okay.
Angela Anderson. I can't remember the name of the storefront. It might be Angela Anderson Art or something like that. But
I'll
yeah,
see
I
if
need to
can
add it
check.
to my YouTube. I'll add it to the description area, so if you check back later on, it should be there. I've got to find it and add the link. I should have it there anyways, so. Okay. I think a little bit of brighter white to that right there to pull it forward. And I think I'm happy. That one looks like a little tilted. Maybe just a camera angle, but I like them. You could splatter if you want to. I don't think I'm going to, but
Okay, it is Angela Anderson Art, all one word. Is the Etsy store.
okay.
I put it in the chat also.
Thank you. Yeah, we just have a few up right now, but if you have any, like one that you want to see or like want to buy, you can always email me and I'll be happy to add it to the store as long as I still have it.
I'll sell the tank one.
Really?
Yeah, starting at 100,000.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Well, I mean that would be minimum, bare minimum. I mean that scribbly drawing thing that I saw on the
Sure.
Antiques Roadshow was stupidly priced.
Yeah, well, art mostly is, so. Or I should say, as you get up and higher, you know, as you get well known. Some art is very, very high. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit darker right here just to kind of differentiate this candle from that. I've got black and I'm just glazing with it here, just adding a little.
Yeah, that would go very well with the orchid and rock painting that you did. So.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I mean, you could even, well, no, it wouldn't work. I was going to say you could even add the orchid. Well, you could probably add the orchid over here if you wanted to. You know, if you want to get fancy and do your own composition. I'm going to get my round brush here. I'm just seeing some things that I missed here, so I'm just kind of trying to do a few little touch-ups here. So there's a dark, kind of just transparent gray here. Using that dark. Kind of defining that lip of the candle right back there a little bit, and then I'm going to use a little bit of it on the front side here too. Just right there. And then the inside of it is lighter. So there's a little bit of that zinc white, and it's like right on the inside of the lip of the candle. I'm kind of being deliberately sort of sketchy with it, so it's not too perfect. Everything else is kind of soft and flowy, so I don't want it to be too harsh right there. Blend those in a little bit. So don't like outline your candle, like kind of just add a little hint of the dark right there. And try to blend it in. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna leave it. Now we can kind of see that one from that one a little bit better. All right, let's sign it and we'll call it good.
All right, so we'll be back tomorrow for the Patreon supporters
Yes.
at the $5 level and above. And what are we painting tomorrow?
We're painting a cat.
Ooh, that's right. We're doing the cat.
Cat with a winter scarf. You can leave off the scarf if you want it just to be all seasons. We've done a black cat before, but it was just like the face. Actually, the top of the face didn't include the mouth or anything. So we're gonna do the whole cat, most of it. The back legs are kind of cut off by the composition, so but it'll be most of the cat.
And then on this coming Tuesday, you're doing a easy red daisy floral.
Yes, and that will be super easy. We will.
So right after this video, you can go over to Angela's channel list and check out all the videos that she's already
Just
done.
click on my name or my photo. Yeah, it'll take you to my channel.
You can see the ones that are getting posted to do in January, and then also all the other past videos.
Yes, and we should be putting up our February schedule very soon, so be looking for that because Mark's going to be involved in one of the paintings.
What? Oh, you blew the surprise.
I did not blow the surprise. I just said you were going to be involved. I didn't say how.
I got to get my toes limbered up.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching with us today. Take that Patreon thing off there, Mom. Thanks. And yeah, we will be back tomorrow for some of y'all, and otherwise we'll see you Tuesday night. Thanks for watching. Bye.